Hello, everybody. This is Chuck Wiger at the state capitol, and today I'm very honored to have the Chief of Police from Maplewood, Chief Paul Schnell.
Well, thanks for having me, Senator.
Well, and you are very active not only in Maplewood but throughout the state as a strong advocate for public safety, and I want to salute you for your leadership.
Well, thank you. It's been great. It's been great to work with you and the colleagues here, and we've accomplished a lot over the last several years.
Okay. Well, tell us just overall the job description as the Maplewood Police Chief, and police chiefs in general.
Right. Well, one of the things it's a busy job. I mean, it's everything from the outreach in the community, lots of business contacts. Certainly, you receive some of the complaints. You set the agenda for policing priorities
Yes.
in a community, and really then look at the broader policy issues that affect the policing day to day in our communities, really across the state.
Okay.
So it's a little bit of a foot inside the police world and a foot outside, the more the
Yeah.
executive management side. So it's extremely challenging. It's been immensely rewarding.
So, how many people are a part of the law enforcement team? You have also, reserves and others, but just, overall the structure for the police and law enforcement.
So when we look at Department Maplewood as a for instance, we're talking with our volunteers, our reserve officers, we're pushing nearly 100 people.
Okay.
And so it's wide and far reaching.
Could we break that down?
Yeah. So
About you as chief, and of
as
course,
chief,
you would
there's-
work with the city administrator,
Yep.
of course, but then the city council and the
Council,
mayor.
correct, yep. And then we have a couple of commanders
Okay.
that they oversee patrol investigations.
Okay.
And the patrol division is obviously the biggest. That's where
Yep.
the place where we have the
Yep.
biggest outreach. We have an investigations unit, and that includes just our property investigators mostly. They do some person offenses. Our school resource officers. And we have a person who's assigned to a narcotics task force,
Yes.
along with Ramsey County folks. Then you, in patrol, you have 8 sergeants, 36 police officers.
Mm-hmm.
In Maplewood, we have a couple of officers assigned to retail because we have such a big retail footprint.
Yeah.
And then we have property room and people that manage all the property and evidence, a crime analyst that does analysis of our crime data,
Yes.
so that we're focusing on the trends that are occurring in our community and resourcing where the need is greatest.
Good. So nearly 100 people that are involved in that team, and there's a number of laws at all levels of government, federal, state, and the ordinances that the city council would approve of, the mayor and the city council. And so to protect the public, you need to make sure people aren't violating. If they do, then that justice is served. And if you have the patrols and all the various networks of making sure people are safe or doing the best you can, what would be some of the trends right now in terms of high risk or high need areas where you've really put additional emphasis?
Right now, one of the things that we've looked at in the East Metro in general, we've seen an uptick in auto theft, as a for instance.
Yes.
And so that has been one really of the key focuses that we've been looking at. Our crime analyst is looking at our data on a day-to-day basis, every day, looking at where those crimes are happening, and because we want to make sure we're putting our resources there. We are doing in some instances DNA collection in some of these auto theft cases, because we really want to. This is a problem we really need to address. And often, what we're seeing is some of the cars that are being stolen most commonly are cars that are a bit older, and these are people that can't afford. Not that anyone
Yes.
can afford to lose their transportation. These are people that don't have access to go out and rent a car or those sorts of things. They're just trying to make it go. And so getting these cars, recovering these cars becomes really important, and holding these offenders accountable is critical.
Now, I've seen some accounts where they can just, take a car within seconds and, or lift it, or, what are some of the methods used in stealing these cars? And then what happens? Do they go to a chop, or what happens?
Yeah. So what we know is that the older cars are generally easier to steal, and there's a variety of different methods. Ignition punching is like they did in the old days. It's not as the traditional hot wiring. It's not as common today because of the high sophisticated electronics in cars.
Yes.
But when we look at the cars from the late 90s and even the early 2000s, there's a variety of mechanisms, even including some Cheif key options that will allow people access to these cars. And frequently, these cars are being stolen with the keys in them. And sometimes running. People will run in to grab something and leave that car in the driveway or in front of the convenience store, and they come out and the car is gone. And those are really difficult situations because they have, they have the keys, they have everything. There's a high number of these cars that are going. We also see increasing numbers of thefts that are occurring around car dealerships. People come in and